So at this point, we're almost done our poncho shirt. After I close the sleeves, I have made a total of 20 more rows. As I said, I have kept the same pattern, which was 3 rows of double crochet and 1 row of triple crochet. So this is how it looks on the bottom. And moving up, this is the one side of the poncho shirt, and this is the other side. So what I'm going to do now, I have made my slip stitch, and I have already chained one, and I'm going to cut the yarn, and I'm going to pull the loop. So what I'm going to do now, so far I have used about 2 3/4 of skeins, and each skein has 300 meters, and this is about size large. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to work on a hood on my poncho shirt. So I'm going to take yarn, and I am going to attach my yarn on the top part. This is where we started with our chains. This is the beginning of our poncho shirt. So I'm going to attach my yarn over there. So I'm turning on the other side. So I'm going to be working on the I'm going to start working on the wrong side of my poncho shirt. So I'm going to put my crochet hook on this first chain over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to work 1 row with double crochet, 1 stitch in every stitch. So I'm just grabbing my yarn and pull it through the stitch, chain 1, and make a double crochet, so we can chain 3. So this chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make 1 stitch in every stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what we're doing now is we're working on the opposite side of the chain stitches that we worked in the beginning of our poncho shirt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off my camera, and I'm gonna keep making 1 stitch in every stitch all around. In all my stitches, I had a total of 132 stitches when I started my poncho shirt. So I'm gonna be making 1 stitch in every stitch, 1 double crochet in every stitch all around. So at this point, I finished crocheting all this row of 132 stitches, and I'm going to cut my yarn. I have already made my slip stitch and my chain 1, so I'm cutting my yarn and pull the loop, tighten up. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to count the spaces to make my hood. I want my hood, so let me open up this. So what I want my where I want my hood to be is from here, starting from here and ending to here, and all the back. So from here and here to the back. So I'm bringing it a little to the front, so it makes so it looks better and covers better the ears when you're wearing it. So what we're gonna do is right here is my middle increase. So this is the one stitch for the one increase, and this is the other stitch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna count back up to somewhere over here and count how many stitches we have. So our hood starts and ends in the same spaces in both sides of my shoulders, because if we don't count, maybe in the one side it'll start here and on the other side it'll end here and it won't look nice. So starting from the middle, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 stitches. So I'm going to go through the stitches one more time to make sure that it is 24. Well, it's actually 25 stitches. That's why we always want to go through our stitches twice. So we want 25 stitches from the middle. So I started counting from this stitch over here. This is my increase. So I started counting from this stitch to the right, 25 stitches. So this is the second stitch from the increase. So from here to the left, I'm going to count 25 stitches again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So I'm going to put my stitch marker over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start from this stitch marker over here, and I'm going to go around. This is going to be my last stitch, and I'm going to be working rows. I'm going to keep making the same pattern. So I already have 2 rows of double crochet over here. So I'm going to start with double crochets. So I want from the beginning to the end my poncho shirt to have the same pattern. Well, you can do it in any way you like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this stitch marker over here, and I'm going to attach my yarn. So grab the yarn and pull through the stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to start making 1 stitch in every stitch up until I come to this stitch mark over here. The stitch marker is my last stitch for the row. So this first chain 3 counts as my first double crochet, and I'm going to be making 1 stitch in every stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and I'm gonna keep working one stitch in every stitch up around my stitch marker. So at this point I'm almost done my stitches. I'm almost done this row, so I'm gonna take out the stitch marker, and I'm gonna make one double crochet in this last stitch over here. Chain 1, you can chain 3, but if you do that you would start crocheting from the second double crochet. What I do is I always chain 1 and start crocheting from the first stitch. So I have a total of 81 stitches. Chain 1 and turn my work. So since I have already 3 rows with double crochet, I'm gonna do this row with triple crochet. So since I have triple crochet, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chain 4. I have already chained 1, so 2, 3, 4. This chain 4 stands for the first triple crochet. Wrap the yarn around twice. Well, I'm actually going to chain 5 because the chain 4 stands for the first triple crochet, and the 5th chain counts as my chain 1. So I'm going to skip this next stitch where I would normally put my hook if I would be not skipping any stitches. So I'm skipping this next stitch, and I'm going to go to the stitch after that, and I'm going to make a triple crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, and go to the stitch after that. And in order for this to work, you need to have an odd number of stitches. Chain 1 and make a triple crochet in the second stitch. Chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that. Chain 1, skip the next stitch and go to the stitch after that. And this is how it looks so far. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep doing this row until we finish until I finish this row, and then we're going to complete all the rows of our hood off camera. When I finish this row, I'm gonna tell you what you have to be careful in order for your hood to come out correctly. So what we're gonna be doing now is we're gonna be chaining 1, we're gonna be skipping the next stitch and making a triple crochet in the stitch after that. So let's finish this row and we're gonna see how we're gonna work the rest of our hood. So I'm almost done this row. I only have 2 stitches left. Chain 1 and triple crochet in the last stitch. The last stitch was made with a chain 3, the last double crochet, so we want to make our triple crochet in this first chain over here. And I'm going to chain 1 and go to the next row. Now we're going to be having 3 rows of double crochet. So what we're doing over here in these rows for the hood, we're making 1 stitch in every stitch. We're not going to be making any more increases. We stopped making any increases when we finished our poncho shirt down here. So we're only making 1 stitch in every stitch, and well, each triple crochet counts as 1 stitch, and each chain 1 counts as 1 stitch. You always want to have the same amount of stitches in every rows for the hood right now. So in order to know that you have made enough rows for your hood, you want the measurements of the hood to be about 5 to 7 more centimeters than the total length that we're supposed to have for a crochet hat. So let's say that an adult women's crochet hat is supposed to be about 22 centimeters, 21 to 22 centimeters. We want this hood to be about 27 to 28 centimeters in total, from here, from where we started, up until we finish all the rows for the hood. We want it to be around 27 to 28 centimeters. So I'm going to keep crocheting my my hood, and when I finish making 1 stitch in every stitch, I'm going to turn the video back on, and we're going to see how we're going to put our 2 sides together to connect our hood, and then we're gonna finish off our poncho shirt. So at this point I have finished crocheting my hood. So this is how it'll look over your poncho shirt. This is the front and this is the back. So the hood is back here and my hood starts from here and it ends right over here. So what we're gonna do now, what I want to say before I start putting together the hood is that I made it 3 centimeters more than I said before I turned the video off, because I have very curly and puffy hair, and when I tried the hood on with the 27 centimeters, it was kind of small on my head. Well, my hair didn't fit in there, so I gave it 3 more centimeters, so I made it a total of 30 centimeters. And what we're gonna do now in order to put it together is, well, this is the good side of my project over here. So I'm gonna turn it inside out. Well, I also added fringes, but I'm gonna explain that at the end. In order to save some time, adding fringes is pretty easy. I'm gonna show you how to do one of them. So this right over here is the top part of my hood. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put the 2 corners together and we're just gonna connect it by making slip stitches, or you can connect it by making by sewing it. You can use either way to put it together. And what we're gonna do is, when I finished my last stitch of the last row, I chained 1 and I cut my yarn pretty long, so I have enough yarn to put it together, to sew it, to put together my hood. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my crochet hook in the first stitch, and I'm gonna put it in the first stitch on the opposite side, and I'm gonna take the yarn and I'm gonna grab the yarn and I'm gonna pull it through both of the stitches. Now I'm gonna go into the second stitch. I'm going to put my hook on the second stitch. I'm gonna put the hook on the second stitch of the opposite side and I'm gonna make a slip stitch. I'm gonna go into the third stitch of the one side. I'm gonna go to the third stitch on the opposite side and I'm gonna make a slip stitch. I'm gonna go into the next stitch in the front piece, to the next stitch on the back piece, and I'm gonna make a slip stitch. So it's that easy to connect your hood. So I'm gonna go to the next stitch on the front piece, I'm gonna go to the next stitch on the back piece and I'm gonna make a slip stitch. And I'm gonna go to the next stitch on the front piece, onto the next stitch on the back piece, and I'm gonna make a slip stitch. So that's how you're gonna go up until the end. And as I said before, I have a total of 81 stitches, and I think I might have made a mistake on those 81 stitches because I had a total of 132 when I did my chain in the beginning, but it's okay. 1 stitch less than I was supposed to do my hood. Next stitch on the front piece, next stitch on the back piece, and make a slip stitch. Next stitch on the front piece, next stitch on the back piece, and make a slip stitch. Next stitch on the front piece, next stitch on the back piece, and I'm going to grab the yarn and pull through all both of the stitches and through the loop. So that's my slip stitch. The front piece, the next stitch on the back piece, and make a slip stitch. So since I have 81 stitches, I'm going to have a total of 40 slip stitches because we fold our hood in the middle. So we have 40 stitches on this side and 40 stitches on the other side. So next stitch on the front piece, next stitch on the back piece, and make a slip stitch. Well, if you don't want to make slip stitches, you could sew it together, but either way you need to turn your work inside out. So see how it becomes when you make the slip stitches? That pointy part, you want that to be on the inside of your work. Well, you can have it on the outside if you like, but I think it's better if it's on the inside. Well, once you do a few stitches, I mean, like if you go through the 4th, 5th stitch, the stitches align, and you don't have to be like this is the front and this is the back. Once you put your hook on the front stitch and continue to the back, you have the same stitch on the back side. All the stitches align. And my last 2 stitches, slip stitch and chain 1 and pull your loop, tighten it up. So I'm going to turn my work. Well, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to secure the yarn. So I don't need all that yarn. We're going to secure the yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the yarn down, and I'm going to secure on these back loops of those triple crochet, or I mean double crochet, sorry. And what I did as I was going through the hood is I kept the same pattern. I did 3 rows of double crochet and 1 row of triple crochet. But in order for your triple crochet to come out right, you need to have an odd number of stitches. And mine came out right because I think I made a mistake on 1 stitch, and I, instead of making 82 stitches, I crochet on 81 for the hood. But 1 stitch won't make a big difference on your work. It won't be that visible. So I'm securing on those back loops of the double crochet. Cut the yarn careful enough so you don't cut your work. So I'm gonna turn on the right side my poncho shirt, And this is how the hood looks like. Right here. Well, I'm gonna have some pictures in the beginning of the video so you can see how it looks with the hood. And we're almost done. What I did is, because it's a poncho shirt and we always put fringes on when we make a poncho, I made my fringes. They are a total of let me see how many centimeters each one of these are. Well, they are a total of 39 centimeters each fringe, and I used 5 pieces of yarn, five strands of yarn on each fringe. And what I did in order to put my fringes on here is I have a total of 5 strands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 strands. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold them in the middle. And when I start putting the fringes on, I start from the corner, from either the front corner or the back corner of my poncho shirt. And I took my crochet hook and I'm going to put it in the middle of those strands over here, and I'm going to grab with my index finger. I'm going to pull the strands carefully inside this stitch right here, in the chain 2 in the chain 3 space in the corner, and I'm going to grab all these strands of yarn and I'm going to pull them through this big loop that I created by pulling in the strands on here. You have to be careful because you might miss a strand, and it won't look nice if you miss a strand in your fringes. And you pull it tight, and this is how your fringes look like. And I counted 5 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On every 5th stitch I added a fringe, and because I have 5 pieces on every fringe, that means that if you count them now, you're gonna have a total of 10 because they are in the middle. It looks very nice. This is how it looks. We want it to look rich. We want to have enough fringes on here. Oops. Well, it's kind of hard to have this big poncho shirt under the video camera. So this is how my fringes look like. And in order to complete this project, I used about 4 skeins of the Red Heart Bella yarn that I showed in the beginning of the project, and I used about 4 skeins, and I made the fringes, I made the hood, and this is about a size large. So unless you're making an extra large poncho shirt, you're not gonna need any more than 4 skeins if you're gonna use the same yarn, because it's 100 grams and about 300 meters each skein. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video tutorial. I hope you found it helpful enough. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you liked the video. Thank you. Bye bye.